Hey guys, this is Turek, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing One Piece Chapter 1176, what do you call it? Yeah, with pride. You know, I keep forgetting that. I should tell you what the titles are. So in the last one, we finally got a really good view of what, Loki's power is. He's this legendary dragon, the Nidhogg. Was it called like that? Wait, it just said right there. Yeah, Nidhogg, the dragon from the one that lives on the Yggdrasil in Norse mythology. So, like I said before, not Jormungandr or Fenrir. Actually, I should have realized it was a dragon. I reread the chapter where he first turned into this form and fought his possessed father, and I saw that his hand. Why is this like this? I should go this way a little bit. His hand was like look more almost like didn't look like a wolf anyways. I was thinking it was Fenrir after that silhouette in that chapter, but his hand transformation was like a clue. It was like very dark colored, just like you can see here in this panel, kind of like that. It was probably his it must have been his hybrid form though, because he's so big here that he would have, if he had fully transformed like this, he would have destroyed the entire castle and even the level of the town probably, because he could probably just sit on the West Village. That doesn't look to be a very large one. He could and just crush it. So, anyways, yeah, we got to see what he can do, and we got a little information through Chief Jarl about what what this dragon is, and it's also apparently different than Kaido's because Kaido is the mythical fish dragon thing. And then actually, I gotta go back and look, but I think isn't Killingham's thing. So this class of this fruit he's got. I think would be related to Killingham's instead then, because he's some kind of dragon type thing too, but probably not the part of the subclass where Kaido's is from. Yeah, they do have that here. This is chapter. Wait, what chapter is this now? 1143, and yeah, dragon fruit mythical type. So model the dream manifesting. Okay, so he's got that one, and what did so he's yeah. Those two fruits are in the same class then, where Kaido's is part of the fish, mythical fish thingy, basically. So what do they say here? Yeah, where is that piece again? He says, yeah, dragon mythical type model Nidhogg, and the other is mythical is the other one. What the other one just got called? Let me pull up again. Model Kirin. Okay, so yeah, there's different types of dragon fruits now that Oda's introducing. We got two in the same arc now that are like the same, like is it the same class together where they're different than Kaido. So now it's like, will he bring in Jormungandr later as like a mythical dragon, or maybe just a mythical serpent? That's the other name, the world serpent. Uh, and then maybe Fenrir. I'm wondering if they'll still like basically have like other fruits like that, other mythical things in this arc related to the Ragnarok North mythology stuff. Okay, so back to. So yeah, we saw that, and we saw that Emu was like very interested in like, oh, this is where this fruit's been. So this thing probably caused a lot of havoc back in the Void Century. He's familiar with it, it seems, and this is probably something he's been seeking out as much as maybe Luffy's fruit. But so Luffy and the others took care of we're all splitting up now, and Luffy's gonna go took care of Summers here. So now the other kids are free from his power. And so now we just got the other groups now, and they're going to focus on some of this in this chapter. We see that the Nami's group is going to try and stop the fire in the library, and we got Zoro and the others still trying to deal with Dorian Bragi, because like what's going on here is we got Loki's dealing with the nightmare creatures made by Killingham. So let's get into this. Let's see. So now we get to we're going to see a lot of the other characters here with that. So now we start with Franky and what's her name? Lilith's group, and she starts pulling out a container she's got here. I thought, yeah, Yeah, so this yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, and Bonnie is there with Frankie. Okay, I was wondering where Bonnie went. She stayed with them. So she pulled out this box that she. This is the one that they had. Vegapunk had. I think it was Sanji and Jinbei grabbed this for them, and she said it had some. It had Vegapunk, a clone of Vegapunk in it, but she pulls out this other stuff in there. She seems to have she has some gadgets in there, and so she's like saying, "Oh, these I got these Omni Drain converters," and let me think here. So she's saying that they should be able to still work here even on Elbath because there's so much energy there. So I guess that's supposed to hint at that the what do you call it? That there it wouldn't work without the um she this would be something that an egghead would probably need to work there because there's just like the Vega Force where it was producing energy. There was some kind of energy there that that thing could use, and that's how it could fly. But only they had said back then that it only could fly in the of the of Egghead. So once they were using Vega Force then to get Sunny over to the other edge of the island so they could get away from the Buster Call, and but yeah, she pulls this stuff out, and these are going to be important to the story to help with some of the stuff going on here, and so she starts talking about that. Have you ever tried to use anything more potent than cola? And so we're gonna come back to that too. She's basically we're gonna see Frankie get an upgrade here. I remember someone talking about like what other Straw Hats were getting any other upgrades here, like were they getting any Devil Fruits. Usopp's the one that comes up the most because this is where he's been waiting forever to come here because he was inspired by Dorian Bragi to be like them, to carry that warrior's pride. Now we go back to Nami's group and the others, and we see their reactions to the stuff's going on. So they're heading toward the library, and then we got Usopp freaking out because he's like, "Oh my God, there's a giant dragon! What the heck is that?" And he's like, "But I saw Luffy climb his back, right on the dragon's back. So it must be our ally, correct?" And you got Nami being Nami. I don't want to say too much, but I don't know why she's always got to say that. Oh, he's being an idiot. You're not thinking about anything. Like, okay, Nami, he thinks different than you. Get over it. So they've caught up to where Saul is. Okay, where was he last? We haven't seen him in a while. He was I think he got that's right. I think he tried to fight Summers, and then he was trying to free the children, and so he got attacked there. Yeah, he's still got a lot of thorns around him, and so yeah, Usopp's freaking out. He's like, the world's coming to an end, and then he's like points out too, like, yeah, this dragon is even bigger than Kaido, which is still kind of almost hard to believe. It's just like you rarely see any films or anything like that I can think of where you have something that's so big it can just be that basically crush a city or something by itself like that. Like Kaido was pretty big, but he was compared to that town, but like he even if he had fallen down, the entire town wouldn't have been smashed. But like this one, you can see like this guy probably would. Loki's body probably is like that size where he's kind of. It could come down. He could come down on a village and crush it all. So well, Usopp's freaking out. The other ones are got their head in the game here, fortunately, and so the Sanji and Robin come up to check in on Saul and to see if he's okay, and then we got Robin's focused on gets Zeus out, and they're near the village, and then she gets Zeus out to try to be putting the fire out, and see pouring rain. So okay, she summons Zeus out, and then he comes out to. I'm surprised with the fire that he'd even be able to summon this and not humidity, but he tries to. He does, and then he. So yeah, Zeus starts going out to do this, and then the Killingham comes there, and who's he saying that to? I thought he said that to Angie, like, "Oh, you're breaking your word. Who said you were allowed to put out the fire?" So he's there defending it essentially. So he goes after them, and so he brings out one of his apparitions, and he uses it to actually swallow Zeus and a lindworm. Okay, that's similar to the. I gotta look that one up. Is that similar to a? So I should have looked this up sooner. But yeah, apparently there's another creature from northern and central European folklore or mythology stuff. So this is maybe similar to what the world serpent is. So wait, who's afraid of this though? It says what I'm afraid of, lindworm. So maybe it's just one of the other things that children produce, but he's controlling it. It's funny too. I just realized him and Summers are both riding around different things in this arc. He's riding his apparitions, and then Summers was summoning up those vines and turning them into snakes, and then using them to ride around on too. So so Zeus has gotten eaten up, but I think he'll be okay. But then we see the others like, wait, who's that? There's we have to stop him. He's took up Zeus, our only chance of putting out the fire. And then Jinbei points out, oh, it's probably one of those 3 knights here. Oh, he calls it a demon here, but one of the 3 knights that are causing all this trouble. So when he says that, though, we hear Lilith. This is where Lilith comes in. She's like, they activate the ODC and collect the heat energy. So these things start spinning around, look like little saucers, and they get over there, and then they just release a frost essentially. And in the next panel here, we got the entire library and school have been encased in ice. We don't see, by the way, I don't think we even see, the owl. We don't see the owl in this one still. He was still there. Bliblo, I think his name is. And he was there in the library when we saw Robin and Chopper there many chapters back. And so there looks like Saul and Robin are probably going to go check in on him. So then we go back to Lilith, and she starts explaining, like, all natural disasters are just a maelstrom of energy. So, like, she's saying that I can, that there's science. This is pretty cool, by the way, because we've been thinking about how do we deal with some of the stuff these God's Knights can do, and I like that Oda's simply resorting to thinking about, science. I can use science here to have as little plot devices to stop some of this stuff. So he in this case, though, it's just simply a really bad fire, but it's really cool that she can find a way to manipulate the weather in order to solve a problem here. So she's there fueling up. Okay, she's using some of the same fuel. She's using this fuel here to, she's got to use these ODCs, and then she gives one to Franky, and he's like, so she says, like, oh, there, Franky, try using that. And it's like all, it's basically been shooken up. It's because it's like a soda. What is this? And it is soda, as we see here. She said, this is the Super Vega Cola. And she's like, I can tell if you've made a very immaculately designed body for yourself. Probably as advanced as our pacifistas, but I was stunned to find out you're only using regular cola to power yourself. And she gets this little glint in her eye, and she starts saying how the fuel is passion. And she's like, if you use that stuff, your body should explode with new raw power. And I'm kind of surprised in the way that Franky has been working on it and advancing his fuel source stuff, but this is where her upgrade is going to come in. And so we switched now though to Zeus, and he's trapped inside the what do they call it? What worm is it called again? The lindworm. And so so we got So Nami's like, hold on, Zeus, I'll figure a way to get you out of there. and then we go to Nami and Robin, Robin and Saul, and then they're like, Saul, we gotta get to the library, and he's like, can you do that? And so he's still all beaten up, but his perseverance here is there, and he's like, yeah, of course we'll do this. I know you gotta be worried too, because this is all of O'Hara's stuff is there. We can't let this get destroyed. Also, by the way, in this chapter, it was really interesting to see Killingham here. He got a great look here of him, because when he was in his hybrid form back in the beginning, when he showed up, he looked very kind of sleepy all the time. But now that he's in his human form, he's really like, you really see this sadistic celestial dragon-esque side of him that we would come to expect from these kind of these people. And he so he sees those two going to the library, and then he's like commands the Lindworm to like devour the library and just crush it that way, since it's not burning anymore. And he starts going on with his kind of proclamations, like stuff like, so his stuff, he's got the mindset where we see it's similar to what to Eam himself, where he's like, oh, we got to destroy the history, this history, and only then can we bring about a new world. And interesting angle there too, because like we think of that kind of stuff, sometimes there's like this like idea they're like, oh, if we put away this awful angle of history, we can bring about hope and bring about stuff. But it's also like a double-edged sword, where like if you don't have any history, you can't like know terrible things that happened in the past to not do it again. But so this is this angle though, where like they think, oh, we have to bury the old world so the new world can come out, and it's kind of like what Eames himself's been doing. He doesn't want anyone to know about O'Hara, or not O'Hara, what O'Hara learned, and so he's gonna make sure that's destroyed so that he can continue to rule the world as he wants the world government, under the world government's the way he's been doing so, basically. Yeah, so we continue we go up here and continue with this with we go to Jinbei, and he's gotten into the sea there, the sea clouds, so he's able to I guess that would work, because if that's a lot of moisture, he can just swim through it as a fishman. He and he yells to Nami, I'll get Zeus back, Nami. I should be able to use the moisture here to create an attack to free him there. And so we go to freaking Killingham, and he's like, oh, look, it's a fishman, the ugliest species in the world. So yeah, he's really part of that the whole like the prejudice against the fishmen that the celestial dragons have had forever, just treating them like they're subhuman type thing. And then we got Sanji set. So now we're setting up an attack here. Sanji hears that, and he looks to him. He's like, "Oh, that's just the sort of thing I'd expect from one of you guys." So Sanji's like, "Your crimes." Oh yeah, because Sanji's always doing it. Like, your crimes against something. He's like, "So you are." I can't let that like slight against one former warlord of the sea and one of our crew members. I think I need to put a hole in that mask. And so we got him, and so we're setting it up. We got Jinbei, Franky, and Sanji all together here, and then so we go to Franky after he's down that new cola, and he's like, look, and so he just like leapt up here, and he's like, oh, now look how much I can jump down with this new stuff. Yeah, he's like saying like I'm gonna try this out on any monster here and see if what I can do with it. And so the three of them here go. We got Franky sets up one of his strong punches. We got Jinbei with his one of his secret fishman karate attacks, and Sanji fires up his leg, and then all three of them line up with the Lindworm. And we get this great double panel here, where who first attacks? So So yeah, Jinbei comes from underneath it and uses his this uppercut type of punch here. Well, and then um, Franky uses his attack, and he goes right for the face of the creature, and it looks like he's already broken it apart there. And then it finally, oh yeah, Sanji didn't go after that. Okay, I thought Sanji went after the Linron. I was right. Sanji goes right for killing himself and brings a downward kick onto him, smashing his, probably breaking the glass. It doesn't really look like the glass is broken per se, but it must be after that attack, unless it's made of something we don't know that can not be destroyed. So we just get this last bit there where the uh, the Lindworm, this other creature's been destroyed, and then this hopefully will take out Killingham. So now at this point too, we got last chapter. Luffy went after Stop Summers, and now these guys got Killingham out of the picture, and so now we're just down to probably Gunko. And the last thing we saw with them is we know. So we didn't see. We don't see Brooks still in this chapter. He was battling Gunko like 2 or 3 chapters ago, and now we saw Gunko with Eam possessing her still like the end of this last chapter. He was observing Loki. So the question is, well, will these others be involved in that fight? And I wonder if they'll like have to tie up these guys or stop them because they can still recover. Because Sanji, that's right, because they won't stay down too long unless they use like Conqueror's Haki, and I think only Zoro and Luffy on the crew are the only two that have that. So I don't think Sanji ever had Conquerors, right? So they're gonna have to find a way to subdue these guys because they'll just come back and still cause problems for them while we're dealing with Gunko. So this is the last scene of the chapter. Now we go back to the Western Village with the warriors. They're defending Jarl still from the group led by Dorian Bragi, who have been Domi Reversi'd, and you got Zoro there with them. Oh, that's right, Haruda and Stenson. So yeah, the last we saw these guys, Zoro had done that Santorio attack and sliced up these guys in a huge group. Basically, it's, this main group together. And so I don't see him right here just yet, but he is, so he's having no luck either harming these things yet. The trick, they're going to have a trick here that comes out too that seems to be part of it. And, well, not part of it. It's, they're basically wearing these people, probably including Zoro here. Oh no, I have the little face thing of Zoro at the top there, but they don't see him can't really see him in the shot because he's like, we're seeing the giant's angle from this wide shot, so it's like, it would be hard to see Zoro unless they show him on top of one of their shoulders or something, or have a shot focus on him. So these guys are like, okay, what are we gonna do to defeat them? And then they're also pointing out like, well, this is how are we supposed to harm these people? Much less, especially since they're our former allies. And then what do we do to stop them? And so we go to Dorian Bragi, and we see that much like what happened with Rocks, the two of them are trying to fight back against or same with Harold as well, actually. They're trying to fight back against this possession, and it looks like they've been able to wrest some control there. And we get this moment for them where like they're talking to each other and like, are you there, Dory? Yeah, I'm here, Brocky. Oh, there's Zoro. Yeah, that's where they show Zoro the first time there. So, and it's like, I can't believe this is happening to us. This shame of it all, that we're hurling insults and trying to kill a man we looked up to. And we can't let this happen. If we were to kill him, it'd bring shame on our family for generations. And so they're like, okay, before we lose control, we'll never give in to these demon. I'm looking for the word like not temptation, but like that they're gonna do that, they would kill him, and then they um and they go on saying like, okay, we as warriors of Elbath will not die in such shame. So if we're gonna die, we'll die with pride. And they come toward each other, and they just slice each other's heads off. And then the others are like, no. Everyone just like is like, don't do it, guys. Don't, because they're still like trying to find a way to like keep them from having to be killed. And so everyone's like looking on as the two of them, so the bodies fall here, and as they go down, suddenly you start seeing a flame go over each of the bodies, and then it disappears, puts out like, and then you see the two of them back to normal, and then their heads are back and everything, and it like, oh wait though, there's one thing though, I almost forgot. I think, which one is it? Bragi, right? I think Bragi though, his arm is probably still going to be severed. He went after Emu, and then his arm got shot off, and I think you can see that there. I think his arm though is not going to recover. He'll probably not be able to use his shield anymore. But other than that, them cutting their heads off, it's like them being utterly killed in this form turns it off, and then they come back to life though. So it's only that form is like a thing. What's the word I'm looking for? It's like it's them, and it's not really their body. So like I said, if they destroy it, they're destroying that. I'm thinking of those. What are those? Oh, like those Russian dolls. Like it's a shell. Let's call it like that for now. The shell has been destroyed, and then their bodies are still underneath, and they'll come back alive. So the others are celebrating, and then we got Jarl piecing it together like, oh, here's how we can do it. So this is the last page here, and then we got Stevenson, and we get a great shot of Stevenson, Haruden, Dorian Bragi, and Zoro. Zoro's right there too, and they're like, oh, so if we kill them in this form, though, it doesn't actually kill them; they'll just stop being possessed. No, he is holding a shield again. So did his arm grow back? Unless he just slung it over his wrist, or what's left there. Because when you look at the other picture here, it looked like it's still gone right there. Where's the mouse? Yeah, right there. So I'm not sure. We'll have to see how Oda solves that later on in the next chapter or two, whenever we see them go back to Bragi there. Wait, am I saying the right names again? Right. Yeah, Bragi's, I keep getting their names mixed up. So then Haruden like saying, okay then, so there's no need for us to hold back anymore. Let's just go right for the kills, so to speak, and start changing as many back as possible. Wait a minute, who's saying that? He's saying that, I think he's just being sarcastic. Dory's like, oh, we can't really do that to them, can we? Because they start thinking about the ways to kill them. And like, oh, can we just run them through the hearts or cut their heads off like we just did to each other? Yeah, they're just being sarcastic here at the end. So someone says, get the children inside. Because now, like, things are going to get really serious with these five. And you got Zoro like, oh, you hate to see it. Wait, so they just say, yeah. The other's like, yeah, it's a real shame. Well, a real heartbreaker. But it's like, prepare. They all scream together, like, prepare to die. Just like, so it just ends there with them ready to take care of this that way and take care of the others. So at this point now, I think he's gonna have to have the story's gonna have to have Gunko Emu step in, because now we're nearly getting every aspect of their play getting reversed here. Summers has been taken out temporarily, Killingham as well, and now these guys are figuring out how to reverse the transformations. So yeah, Otis is having like the tides turn in these last few chapters, but now we gotta see what that means for what Emu can do to turn the tide back into his favor here. And so yeah, almost everything's coming back to them having an advantage here. and it's just like, so what? The question is, what will yeah, how are they? How will Emu? What will Emu pull out of his that we haven't seen him do before? Uh, I'm thinking he'll. I'm worried he'll try and turn one of the Straw Hats into, like, Brooke was there somewhere too. Where if he turns Brooke into a Domi Reversi and he has to fight like Zoro or somebody. I bring up Zoro because he's the sword. Him and Brooke both use swords, so I'm thinking that would be an interesting fight. Because Brooke had fought Ryomu. How do you say his name? The swordsman that had Shusui, and so, and Zoro had to fight him, Ryomu. So it'd just be an interesting to see how strong Brooke would be if he's possessed and went toe to toe with Zoro there. And yeah, now yeah, I was glad we got something with Franky in this chapter too. If that we're finally seeing some of those Straw Hats have some kind of power up, so to speak. Uh, so this is something too, because we're gonna have the Blackbeard pirates come as opponents sooner or later. So it'll just be interesting. It'll be interesting to see, because they might be too powerful stuff for some of the Straw Hats. So I've seen whether Nami and Usopp and Nami and any others get any other kind of upgrades that will make it give us confidence, I guess, to fight them will be good to know. Have. So that just leaves though, like Usopp especially left to like say, okay, what's he gonna have? Is he gonna gain anything from here other than, like, learning from this experience to fight? Because he's gonna be fighting Van Augur. That Oda's really got it set up where, like, certain characters we know are gonna fight each other who are of the same, like, position on the ship. So, and then like Chopper with I forget the doctor's name on Blackbeard's ship, but Chopper, yeah. Will Chopper gain any other upgrades, power ups, I should call it, here to before he has to fight that doctor later on. So yeah, this was a good chapter. It went by really fast. I felt like I didn't even talk about it that much, but it's because everything was moving so fast here. And with that, I hope they show if Bliblo, whatever his name is still alive in the next one. We've still not seen him. I don't think we even saw him when when Angie had to put the library on fire. I don't believe we saw him at all there in the fire. We don't know if we didn't see if he even tried to make an escape or couldn't make an escape there. And so now everything's frozen. He probably, if he stayed there, he's probably been frozen too. Maybe Oda will be making some kind of comedic moment out of that. And yeah, it was just a good chapter. It just moved so much fun. And yeah, I'm gonna just leave this here. I think we got a break next week though, so now we're gonna have to wait and see what comes next here. And yeah, thanks for watching.